Well, now, Ken, you have to imagine what would happen if the rich actually did pay no tax.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Um, I I always enjoy this one because we talked in episodes. I do okay for myself. I know how much tax I pay. I know other wealthy people, roughly know how much tax they pay. I've helped people do their taxes. I know how little and how much people pay.
Yeah.
But it's just like this basic math, Kane, where it's if uh if 61% of people paid no tax last year, and then you're saying the rich people don't pay tax, well, where's all the money coming from?
Who's paying tax? Yeah.
Who's paying? So, and that's where I get arguing with a lot of people because they only read like news, or they read these threads online and Twitter and these like Congress people that are constantly tax the rich. And like, it sounds like some of these big corporations need to probably pony up some money, right? Um,
Sure.
they found innovative ways to get out of paying tax. Um, let's remove them from the conversation and talk about everybody else. Okay, most of the people I know that are the doctor, lawyer, business owner, doctor type of, and dual income earners pay a lot. They pay six-figure level taxes, right?
Mm.
And so you get this conversation. It's like, well, if you got this article, does it tell you before this? So it's 43.3% over the 5 years before. So that's before. So let's just say on average, Kane, 43% paid really no taxes. And I'm not, they try to, the media always tries to say, no, they paid into Social Security. And these are all things you get back, Kane. You get
Right,
you
right.
get Medicare, you get Social Security. This is shit you get back.
Hmm.
We're talking about the money you pay above and beyond that pays for the military and the roads and the Department of Education, like all this other shit. You got roughly half of people not putting in the pot to help run and manage and keep this country moving. Have you seen many things in this world where you could have half the people contributing and they continue to thrive?
uh, no, I can't think of anything.
It usually doesn't work out so well. So it's like, and then I started telling people the math. It's like, well, from 2010 to 2020 ish, if you remove COVID out of the bucket, we've almost doubled the amount of tax revenue the IRS collects. I tell people that number and they don't believe me. And it's like, well, shit, you'll Google everything else under the sun, right? You'll Google what happened on your reality show last night. Go Google that shit really quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't don't listen to me. And they're shocked to see that we're collecting almost 3.6, 3.7 trillion dollars or so, and just IRS money came.
Yeah.
This isn't for your property taxes. You know how much property taxes paid in this country? It's mind blowing. State taxes, city taxes, sales taxes. Um, this is just the 3.7 trillion goes to the defense and all these other federal government shit. So it's like we almost doubled the amount of federal tax money we collected, and it's only coming from half of the working population. Kane, I dare you to convince me that the wealthy aren't paying taxes.
I can't. I'll add fuel to the fire here because here's the data point, James. The households making less than 28K will owe nothing this year. Three-fourths of the families making between 28K and 55K will owe nothing this year. And then that kind of nets out to where 43% of middle income families will owe nothing this year.
Yeah, and if you have children, which I've
Hmm.
helped people work through this math, and I'm going to do this on my episodes at some point here. If you have two kids and you're getting the child credits, not only will many people not pay any federal tax, they'll actually get money back.
Yeah.
So you're essentially not really contributing to the system, but you're also kind of, leeching away resources from it as well. And the thing is, anyone that's down on their luck, I do think we need to help them.
Yeah.
But I have a really hard time right now, particularly when I see so many goddamn jobs open that are paying 15, 18, $20 an hour, right? And we're watching our like society kind of fall apart to where there's like healthcare shortages. In New York,
Yeah.
they're talking about sending in the National Guard to help with the healthcare shortage in
Yeah,
Maryland
wow.
or yeah, in Maryland or somewhere. There's had to send the National Guard to drive school buses. Kane, they're offering $20 a fork an hour over here to drive school buses. In Pontiac, Michigan, I saw a bus starting at $20 an hour.
Wow.
So I get the whole poverty thing because I came from that life, and there's people we definitely need to help. But there's jobs out there, and if you can make 40, 50 grand a year, and let's say you're a 4-person, family, and one person's working full time at 40, and the other person's working part time, and they're making 60. Outside of New York, you can get by on that, and you could also put some money in the pot, just like my father did.
Right.
Yeah, just like I did. So it's like, do you think the $3.7 trillion, if the bottom 50% is not paying taxes, and you're saying the wealthy people don't pay taxes, are you telling me the 3.7 trillion is coming from just the middle class?
Yeah, or like, yeah, right, or a little bit up, middle to upper class.
Yeah, it's mathematically impossible, King.
It is, yeah, for sure.
So, and that's why it's just one of those things where it's like I don't go into a news story trying to like, this is what I want to believe, and that's the headline that I want to believe, so I'm going to believe it. I go check the fucking math.
Yeah.
Because I know those people that are making the $500,000-$600,000, and I know what kind of taxes they pay. Okay, there's no fancy. I called my accountant like years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's all these loopholes? I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean, James? No, I'm like, I keep reading the news. These people got all these. Like, as I started making more money and making these investments, and the stock market's doing good, and I'm like, I keep reading about these people paying less taxes. And they're like, well, James, what do you mean? And I'm like, it's all over the news, like loopholes. Rich people don't pay. It's not that I don't want to pay any tax, Kane, but I'm going to try to figure out how to pay at least my taxes possible.
Of course.
Especially when the bill's that big. And I'm like, find me some loopholes, man. And they're like, James, there are no loopholes. Stop reading the goddamn news. There's like some sophisticated shit you can do when you got these like billion-dollar company structures. There's some stuff you can do. They're like, you're just not big enough for that. You're gonna have to go make like an extra couple $100 million and call me back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you start to realize that this is so much media propaganda and shit coming out of certain people in Congress trying to create like class warfare. And it's like, man, I'd like to get my taxes down from, at roughly 40% at that time, federal plus Michigan tax. It's 45% right there. I wonder, can you find me a way to say like 5% or some shit? And the accountants, the CPAs, like, stop listening to the news. Like, that shit's not real. It's real if you're Amazon, or if you're Microsoft, if you're Apple. You find these. You remember when people were going to like Ireland?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there's other things you can do, but that's not for someone that, my friend that he's a lawyer and she's a doctor. Like, they probably make 500 grand between the two of them. They don't have no sophisticated offshore Ireland LLC structure that they can license its IP and pay. Like, they don't no fucking shit like that. Don't they get a tax bill for about 110,000?
Right.
That's what they get. And people don't want to believe this because it's almost unbelievable. So, as this creeps up with the way they're doing stuff, and they're going to try to, at some point you run out of money, King.
Yeah.
I did quick math, and it's off the top of my head, but if you took all the billionaires' money and gave them zero, if you drained every billionaire's account in this country,
yeah,
and you spread it out to all Americans, how much money do you think you get? Let's say working Americans.
I don't know, the tens of thousands, couple $100,000.
Yeah, it came out to like $15,000 or $17,000. Let's just say 20 grand.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So if you drained the billionaires and took all their money and left them with fucking zero, every working person in this country would only, and I'm gonna say only get about 20 grand.
Wow.
Which is probably not far off from what many got last year from the extra federal unemployment boost, and there's some windfalls last year.
It's true.
But now where I came from, even if you're broke and you got 20 grand, it goes pretty quick. you'll pay down some debt, you'll buy a car, vacation, booze, some smokes, and that money's gone.
Yeah.
So when you think about that, if you just evaporated all the billionaires' money and then we're only going to get 20 grand each, that would be gone in like a year. Then what? Then whose money you got? Whose money you gonna take next? So, and if you read like economics and that's like the academic side of it, but different economics books, you start realizing that at some point you got to stop spending money. And we're about to we're trying to pass it on to 3.5 trillion. If you saw the debt lately, it keeps going up. So we want the debt to keep going up. We want to keep giving people more. And we get a whole other conversation. Well, then just print money because that's what we keep doing, right? But it's just weird that you keep creating this like class warfare, but whenever you want to turn the printing press on, you do it. So no one really has to live in poverty. They spend $6 trillion on Afghanistan, right? I mean, we spend $6 trillion on like nation building.
Yeah. Where'd that get us?
It looks like zero. Got us like nothing. So somehow we spent $6 trillion nation building over there, and we ended up giving them a bunch of military equipment. How's this work? Like, we got something wrong somewhere. But again, it's like you feel like this is so much propaganda because again, it goes back to that conversation where I call my CP up. I'm like, if I be some goddamn loopholes, I want loopholes. If I be a loophole. James, there's no loophole. Like, but you got 85% of the general public out there believing that shit. So, but as I tell people, if the bottom 50% are paying no tax, and you're saying the wealthy don't pay no tax, I don't think the $3.7 trillion is coming from the middle class and the upper middle. So,
yikes! Yeah, fantastic. That was excellent.
That question I always ask you, Kane, like the federal tax revenue almost doubled from 2010 to 2020. Do you feel like you've gotten twice your money's worth?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
My roads are worse. My gas is more expensive. I don't know what is better from 2010 till now, other than like technology, which is outside the bounds of government.
The Dow is up.
I mean, it should be when you pump like trillions of dollars into the economy. The market might get a little inflated. I don't know. But it's just like, we doubled the amount of cash, but everything seems to be worse. So I don't. Do you see like new power plants and water plants and infrastructure shit getting built right now? No, we're trying to pass an infrastructure bill.
Yeah, right.
After we collected all that money. So, like I said, we spent $6 trillion in Afghanistan, and at the same time, we armed them with military equipment. I mean, I don't know. So somewhere on a chalkboard, this all makes sense, right?
No doubt. We'll invent some theory to make it work.
Maybe somewhere they did like a whiteboard Friday, and like in like 2004, this is gonna be awesome, and then it's you're watching like people in Afghanistan fly around like Black Hawk helicopters. This worked out good.
Jeez.
I don't know. Anyways, it's going to be a reoccurring theme on my channel. It's not that I don't think the wealthy shouldn't pay tax. You should pay tax. Because at some point when you're paying hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in tax, and then you got there's like half the country with pitchforks saying you need to pay more, and it's like, but you didn't pay nothing.
Yeah.
What are you telling me to pay more?
Yeah.
I always felt like, if possible, everyone kind of has to chip in the pot. Because if you're not putting in the pot, then it gets really easy to spend other people's money. There's no interests are aligned then, right? It's how do you get everyone on the same page? Like, hey, we live here, I want to contribute. It's like those people that, Kane, they're always doing nice shit for you, and then you always try to they tell you not to buy anything, but you still buy them something.
Mm-hmm.
It's you think that's like human nature to say, I want to contribute. And I feel like we're in a spot now where some people can't contribute, and we need to help those people. a lot of other people that just don't want to contribute, and they want, the people out there that, spent the time building businesses, going to school, doing the right thing, busting their ass. They want them to pay more. And then we wonder why the country is so divided. Yeah, it's because we keep putting news out there. This is Bloomberg. Okay, we got it on Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Not from someone in Congress's Twitter account. Not Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Here's Bloomberg actually telling you that this is the truth. And man, will America wake up and start paying attention? What we need to do is figure out where all the money goes. And then you would realize that maybe we don't have to keep raising taxes on everybody. But hey, it's a lot easier to just say make the rich people pay tax, I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad this article came out because it's hard to convince anybody that 60% of this country can't contribute, like you said earlier. Right? Like how are we leaning on 39.4% of people to cover every little bit of infrastructure, all the things that taxes go into, all the negative externalities, and then say that you have this, like you said, class warfare where you have two factions of people who are saying each other has to pay more tax, leaning on 39%.
I mean, if we just go back to what it was before COVID at 43, that's still an astronomical number.
Half the country, it's nearly half the country.
Nearly half the country, and it's like, what's funny is where I grew up, my dad worked in a steel factory, the 8th grade education. He never bagged on rich people.
Right.
He always told me that you need to go get it. Don't sit around and hate them. My dad, did his job, paid his taxes, and did his shit. He never raised me to hate the rich people. He said, go get some.
Yeah.
Now today, it's like, let's hate everyone that's rich. And if I was 18 now and I look back at where I was in life and I saw this, I would tell rich people, thank you for paying taxes. Because it's like, what the hell happens if they're not creating these businesses? And what they stop trying to get more money and they're not paying taxes, Kane? How much of a revenue shortfall would the IRS have?
Yeah.
Well, who's going to get the tax bill then? The middle class, the working class. Well, now you are going to pay your taxes. But it's like, it's not enough. They'll keep going until they get the top 10% of paying for everything. How about we ask, where is all the goddamn money going? It's we probably don't even want to know. We don't want to know. That's why we don't go look, right?
Yeah, right. It's true.
God forbid you stop spending money. It sounds crazy, right? Let's try to get a balance. I don't know if you ever saw the debt chart. It was only around 2001 we had a little bit of a surplus when the tech boom was going crazy. Shit since then does not look good. I mean, you had 2008. Debt sucked for a while under Obama, not because of Obama, but because of 2008. And then it started to get under control. Trump came in. It kind of was similar to the last part of Obama's term, manageable. And then COVID came, and it just gets through the roof. And we got all that money sloshing around the system now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now what? Now what?
Yeah. Now what? Yeah.
Well, we shall see. But anyways, we actually got a Bloomberg article. It's not a Twitter post, not a Reddit post. It's not Bernie Sanders or tax the rich people. It's actually Bloomberg giving you some real data, and this just might be off. I don't know. It doesn't mean it's 100% true because it's Bloomberg, but to see this on Bloomberg tells you something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, that's all I got.
All right, sounds good.